Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Empire against the Wood Elves. So I know you guys have been asking for some diversity in terms of who I'm playing, so I decided to switch it up and play a little bit of Empire for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. We're going to get 2 Empire captains, pretty good, and I think gaining the air control against the Wood Elves is very, very strong. And also, if the Wood Elves bring like Hawk Riders or other units like that, you can simply stick an Empire captain on them and they can deal with it, no problem. So pretty nice. In order to save a little bit of money, I always like to get rid of Hold the Line because more often than not, I'm using these guys for skirmishing purposes in the back line, etc., etc. So we'll see how it goes. Fairly open map, if I'm not mistaken. So on top of that, we're also going to get 2 cannons. I really like cannons against the Wood Elves. They're pretty good against, the Treekin, the Tree Men, and they even do well against, units that, you wouldn't think they would be good against. They do well against archers and all that kind of fun stuff. So on top of that, we're going to get a front line of Sigmar's Sons and some shields, some swordsmen here. We're also going to get the Tattersouls here, and then also we're going to get a bunch of Halberdiers. We're going to get 2 groups of those guys. So hopefully the Halberdiers in conjunction with those cannon crews can do pretty good. And let's see here. I feel like I need some spears. So maybe we cut these here, and then we can get rid of one of these guys. I mean, I feel like the swords and the Sigmar Sons should be enough in the front line. So we're going to get 2 spears to kind of protect our cannon. So, we'll keep them in the back line, and if he doesn't pose any threat to them, we'll then pull them up. So I think it should be fine. Kind of a strange army composition, but the cannons, should be pretty good. I have been playing a lot of tree Death Stars lately, so the cannons in that particular situation thrive. Like, they can just punish Durthu. They can absolutely punish Treekin, Tree Men, all that kind of stuff. So, and even against like Glade Guards and things like that, the cannons can eventually wear them down pretty well. So, and this is like a really nice map for me. There's no trees, there's no terrain for him to hide in. But on that same coin, I can't, hide cav. I'm not playing like a cav game, but, I don't really have units that need cover. So I guess it's pretty good for me, but we're going to go ahead and set up here. We're just going to put our 2 cannons front and center. We want to split them up a little bit because like if he shoots an arrow of Kurnus and it swings a little wide right or something and looks like it's going to miss, it could hit your other cannon if they're side by side. So you definitely don't want that, but we're going to put our swords in the front line here. Should be nice and good there. Let's actually spread them out a little bit wider. There we go, nice and pretty. And then we're going to put our Tattersouls right in the center here, and they're just going to push up and hopefully do their thing. And then, of course, the Halberds right here we're going to put in the back line there. So far, so good. We got a decent little Haggard formation going on there. And then on top of that, we want our Flying Goon Squad in Group 2. I'll probably switch their groups up as the battle progresses, but, for now, we'll see how it goes. So the spears, again, I'm just going to keep back here by the cannons and just hopefully, be able to protect them against any threats. And honestly, spears will trade extremely efficiently with Wild Riders and things like that for how cheap they are. So, if I have 2 groups of spears, he's going to have to pour so many resources in to destroy those cannons. So the cannons obviously should be in Group 3. My group is locked here. The toggle lock means that when I move the group, they'll move in the same formation, which is quite useful. So for any of you guys that haven't experimented with that before, but Boris is good here. It's really funny. As I mentioned in previous games, I actually don't even have Boris unlocked, but I honestly think he's a very good choice with that self-healing. Karl Franz is pretty fun. I think Franz has higher stats in some areas, but still that healing is just so valuable. And it allows you to just, oh man, I was wondering why my army felt smaller. Oh man, that bums me out. So I usually just bring the Earth Blood as well as the heal ability. I don't like bring all this other stuff. So unfortunately, like I wasted, maybe 400 or 500 gold, which really sucks because that could have been like 2 more groups of spears. But we'll see how it goes. I should be fine, guys. So maybe if I'm feeling adventurous, I'll go ahead and use some of these other abilities. But what the heck are these? I haven't even really experimented with these. I feel like they're not that strong. A lot of those kind of AoE DPS spells. So anyways, maybe they will be. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. So here we go. The cannons are online. Let's just start focusing on Durthu, and very good. So he has like a very tree-heavy army, which is pretty solid for me. So those cannons are going to shoot in, and they should lay the smackdown on Durthu before the fighting even starts. So that's one of the circumstances which is pretty risky to bring Durthu against the Empire. And what does he have over here? So he has some Wild Riders with shields. So perfect. I literally have a spear for each group of those, and if need be, I can like pull an Empire Captain back and have them help out. So he does have some Blade Guards with the Starfire shafts, and it looks like I took some friendly fire from those cannons. That's pretty funny. So we're just going to march up and just set up our formation here. The cannons are obstructed just for a moment, but it should be okay, to be honest. I just want to be in an ideal position before the fighting starts. So we're going to fight here, and I also don't want the fighting too close to the cannons because if he does break and terrify my main line there, it's going to be pretty bad. So the cannons are shooting in. You can see they're making some okay contact. Nothing substantial yet, but as the battle waves on, they're going to continue to shoot at them. And let's go ahead and set these spears up here and set these ones up here. We're also going to put an Empire Captain. We're just going to leave him back there as well. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get our main force, and thankfully you can see the spears, not the spears, but the Glade Guards back here are shooting at mostly my swordsmen, which is fine. It's what they're designed for. They're cheap fodder, and they definitely do a very good job. So we're probably going to snipe out his Branch Wraith with our kind of Flying Goon Squad. That's going to be the tentative game plan. So we'll charge in here, like so. We're just going to send these guys right up the pipe. I mean, there's not going to be a great situation for them. We'll send these guys here and pull these guys over here and just kind of fly over his army and see what we want to do. But The cannon fire is making some contact with Durthu, nothing terribly substantial, but you know, still it's putting a little bit of pressure on him. And we're going to go back here. Oh man, this is so juicy right now. So we're going to put Boris over here, and this is definitely going to be a rough situation here. So, man, I have to like look through all these spells to make sure I'm clicking the right one. So we're going to use this heal. Where do we want to use it? Probably right here, because there's a pretty serious heated battle going on right there. So in the back line, we're able to get through to some of his troops. The cannons are continuing to put pressure on his lord. And he probably knows that coming back here with the Wild Riders isn't a good bet. So we're going to pull this Empire Captain here. We're going to use a nice speed boost. And but we're doing pretty well here. I would say we're, you know, penetrating his back line. We want to just keep pressuring here and just doing everything we can. And, you know, sometimes these Treeman armies are a little thin in terms of unit numbers, but still, you know, he's able to do pretty well in the front line. But Durthu is taking perpetual cannon fire, which is very, very good for sure. And you can see this guy, my Empire Captain, has engaged here, and he should be able to help out that particular army quite a bit. So we're going to pull some spears up here and just leave one in auxiliary, keep those cannons firing at the Wood Elf Lord, and you can see they're starting to wear him down, which is quite nice. So once we're able to finish off these missile troops, that's going to be pretty good. So we're actually just going to put the Jade Wizard here and just pull this guy here and just have him start to dive bomb Durthu. I'm just going to start cycle charging, and also getting that leadership in the front line will be pretty nice. So do I have some units that are routing? I do indeed. So we're going to pull these spears here. We're going to use this with Boris and just go ahead and get a nice little charge in there, and then we're just going to simply pull out. We don't want to spend a lot of time. That's what she said. So we're doing good here. He does have some Wild Riders fighting my Empire Captain, which is a good choice because they're really sturdy. I mean, they have a, and it looks like I'm taking missile fire again. So we're just going to charge in there, keep those Empire Captains fighting. This one is helping out with these Wild Riders, and then these spears are able to collapse as well. So those cannons, that perpetual fire is eventually going to wear them out for sure. And what's going on here? Oh, okay, so I got caught off guard a little bit. That's kind of scary. So we're going to use a regrowth right here, and we're going to use it on our Jade Wizard. Hopefully he can survive. And Boris is doing pretty well. We're just going to fly him over here and just keep working on these missile troops here. And it looks like he does have some Wildwood Rangers in the back. So we're going to pull these guys over here. And those Wild Riders are actually doing really good damage here. So that's pretty impressive. So we're going to pull those guys. And we need to get Boris out right now. This is not good. Oh, God. Go, go, go. So in the front, the spears were able to kind of collapse there. And we're going to pull this Empire Captain over here as well. But the Infantry Corps is having a little bit of trouble with the trees. But thankfully, that regrowth was able to kind of salvage this guy. We're going to get these guys in here. And Boris is still being hunted. So we need to make sure to keep pathing him back because it's going to be hard to get away from these Wildwood Riders, and Wildwood Rangers will just absolutely dumpster him. So we do have some troops coming back here, so let's go ahead and send them in the front line. Just get them on Durthu. Just got to keep those cannons shooting, so we want these swords coming as well. And we're going to keep the spears here. You know, I'm being really conservative there because I don't want them to slip through because that's definitely a win condition of mine, is those spears. So Boris is still just running. Hopefully he can take off here in a moment. Just keep those cannons just shooting at Durthu, just pressuring them the best they can. And let's go ahead and see if we have any heals for our frontliners. So it looks like we do. I would like to get Boris in on some of those heals. So as soon as Boris like comes up and around, I think we'll do it. I love how there's like one lone guy standing here. Let's go ahead and send him back there. That's pretty cool. So back here, we're able to kind of crumble these guys. So let's go ahead and send them in the back. We do really need to get Boris out of here though. And is he near his healing cap? He's not. So let's get this Empire Captain, have him go over here. Honestly, actually, we can probably just like dive on this guy and maybe finish him. So the Wild Riders, actually, we can turn and fight them because they don't have armor piercing. So we're going to go here, and we're also going to use the regrowth. It's so annoying. I actually don't know what like the tooltips look like for a lot of those abilities. So, you know, I'm like looking around, trying to figure it out. So we're going to pull the Empire Captain in here, just have him go after these. And I could go after the Branch Wraith, but he has those Wildwood Rangers there, so it's kind of scary. We're going to pull these swords in the back here and pull these guys over here as well. Unfortunately, he was able to route me here, but you can see he has his Wild Riders kind of parked there. It looks like he was getting ready to go, and he got slightly distracted. So we're able to actually punish these guys, so let's actually come back to the main battle. I don't want to dwell too long over there. We do have a regrowth, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on... Do we have any... Yeah, anyone who's probably... No one that's probably worth using that on right now. So we're going to pull these guys here. You can see the spears are kind of chasing these guys, and as soon as Durthu goes down from that cannon fire, we're going to be in really, really good shape, guys. So we're going to pull Boris and the Goon Squad in here and try and help out in the front line, and then we're going to use an Earthblood. So let's actually just go ahead and do that right now and just use an Overcast of Earthblood here, which should hit like everyone. And I mean, it's going to be about as optimal as it gets. And thankfully, I do have a really healthy group of spears. Those cannons are continuing to fire at Durthu, but my spears have abandoned, so if he is able to like sneak anything by, that'll be really rough. But I feel like now's the time to go all in and just try and win this. So it'd be really funny to kill Durthu with like some shitty magic spell. Oh man. I feel like it's not worth it. I'm pretty sure he has like pretty substantial magic resistance. So Boris should like cause a mass rout right now. And you can see he's being really conservative with Durthu, not wanting to like bring him back into the battle here. You know, and he is taking that cannon fire. You know, he might as well just engage him because Durthu's just getting knocked over and kind of punished. So in the front line, he does have some troops, I think that were routed. And oh yeah, those guys look like they completely broke. So we'll actually just pull these swords back here. Oh no, that's exactly what I didn't want. Damn it. I knew that was gonna bother me, but they already killed Durthu, so I'm feeling pretty good about this situation here. And I think this is honestly just gonna be a mass rout at this point. So the Empire Captain here, we're gonna go for that. We're gonna pull Boris up here, just send these troops in after these Wildwood Rangers. Pull him over here and him over there. And so far so good. So the cannons are doing well. I mean, the trees have gotten back, and thankfully we actually have some halberds back here who can get over there and help. But we should be able to kind of clean all this up at this point. Boris is in full health. That healing quite nice on him, but he probably is at his healing cap or very close to it. Let's take a look. It's out of curiosity. But anyways, that went pretty well. I think the cannons were essential to victory, especially considering the Durthu pick. But what I like about that build is that if he does bring Durthu, you know, the cannons will punish him and just shut him down and make it very, very hard for him to play efficiently. Constantly knocking him over, just very, very disruptive. Now, if he decides to get a Flying Glade Lord, you have the Goon Squad. You have Boris and these two Empire captains, and it's going to require so much micro to deal with that in the front line. So there's some give and take there. But, you know, the one issue with the Treeman type builds, I think like cutting 2 Treemen and then just getting like 3 or 4 groups of Eternal Guards might have won him the game. Because if he could have like protected these Glade Lords, these Glade Guards in the back line, I think they would have been a lot stronger. So anyways, as far as my troops go, I mean, obviously he had trees, so there's not going to be a lot of kills. But the Goon Squad and the cannons paid for themselves, and the Tattersouls, obviously, you know, they didn't have a great home here, but they did the best they could. So anyways, really well played to my opponent, Naked Mexican. I look forward to seeing you again on ladder, and I hope you guys enjoyed that live Battlecast. Have an excellent night, and take care.